everyone.
We back.
It is Sid and V.
With Judicious Mockery.
And we are back with some more Master Detective Archives Raincoat
DLC.
Back with more of the DLC.
Whoop, whoop.
Last time we went through chapter Desahiko, which was obviously the best chapter of the DLC.
Of course, our favorite person.
We learned that Desahiko is actually kind of smart and can come up with a good plan when he wants. But just can't actually execute it when there's a pretty girl in front of him.
He proposed. It was strange,
bizarre.
Team.
And then we had chapter Fubuki.
Adorable as always.
Which was adorable as always.
She did a great job.
It was really more of Desahiko and Halara showing off their detective chops, but Fubuki was there and great.
She was there and she used her power. And if that's not Fubuki, I don't know what is.
I don't know what is.
So last time we said we were going to just do Halara this time.
That was a lie.
We've changed plans. We're going to do Halara and Vivia in this episode,
yes.
and we're just going to end with a short little Yako chapter.
Yep. So we're gonna do both Halara and Vivia today. That means that the last episode, the true finale of our Raincoat playthrough, will be a little on the shorter side.
But it'll also be, I'm sure, emotionally impactful given Yako's ultimate demise.
Exactly. It'll be fitting.
Yeah.
And I think thematically it just works out better that way.
He deserves his own episode.
He does.
But for now, we're starting with chapter Halara.
Halara.
Which is Raining Cats and Dogs. The Nocturnal Detective Agency receives a request to investigate an unusual drowning. Was it suicide or murder? Will Master Detective Halara be able to solve this odd and onerous case? I bet they will.
Now, the fun thing about this one is this is the only sub-story, the only of the DLC chapters, that is kind of like an actual investigation.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
Which does make sense.
That's very fitting with their
people.
character. Yeah. All right.
So let's do it.
New game. Only autosave is enabled for sub-stories. Just a reminder.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you for reminding me.
Looking so cool.
Halara, do you know where the milk I put in the fridge went? I was saving it for my coffee.
Beats me.
That's my seat, you know.
How much?
Huh?
How much do you want for it? I'll pay your asking price. Well?
You got
Halara's hysterical.
Fine. Just keep sitting there.
I will.
They just view the world in such a transactional way.
They do.
Someone's coming. I wasn't expecting guests today.
To be fair, they have a very valuable skill set.
That is true. Who dis?
Who dat?
I think her name is Blue, probably. Because of her necklace.
Right this way. It's a bit cramped in here.
Are you the chief of the Nocturnal Detective Agency? My name is Tetra.
Shit.
Pleased to meet you.
Just a little off. That's okay.
Do people really come and hire us in our submarine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine showing up to the detective agency and having
Into
to
submarine.
enter
Having to
a
descend
submarine?
into a submarine. That's awesome. I would feel secure.
I'm the chief. That's just one of our detectives.
Oh, excuse me. Your detective was sitting at the biggest desk here, so I assume...
That's fair.
Why is this just like... I feel like this is a very thinly veiled metaphor for Halara has big dick energy.
Yeah, and it's true.
It's absolutely true.
My seat gets stolen the moment I leave it open.
And Yako does not.
Yako does not.
Let's sit down.
I was told you investigate murders.
Murder.
This is true.
Judas.
A murder case. It's possible for us to handle it, but what we can or can't do depends on whether or not the peacekeepers have already gone through it.
I see. My father passed away in a rather bizarre manner. The peacekeepers declared it was an accidental death. But I just can't believe it was an accident.
The peacekeepers usually try to declare any unnatural deaths as accidents.
We have
Classic
learned this,
peacekeeper
yes.
nonsense.
Why do you suspect that it wasn't one?
My father kept tropical fish as a hobby. One morning, he was found dead. drowned with his head stuck in the fish tank.
For
Doesn't
sure an
seem like an
accident.
accident.
For sure an accident.
Do
Nothing
you really
fishy
think
about
would
that.
be an accident?
Hey, nice. Fishy. Nice pun.
God, how did I not even realize that?
He drowned with his head stuck in a fish tank? Can you describe the situation?
Yako, how much more could she describe the situation?
Imagine a fish tank, and then imagine his head
In it.
in that tank.
And that's really all there is to it.
The fish tank is set rather low, so you can view it from above. My father was in a kneeling position, with his head dunked into the water.
That sure is bizarre. What did the peacekeepers have to say?
I'm really fascinated to hear what their rationale is for how this accident might have occurred.
Yeah.
They say he was electrocuted and passed out when he touched the temperature control switch with wet hands.
Okay.
Okay, and then fell face first into the tank and drowned. Okay.
And
Okay.
he fell into the water and drowned, unfortunately.
That's at least
right.
not an impossible
Yeah,
situation.
that is physically possible.
Are you sure the cause of death was drowning?
Yes, that appears to be the case without a doubt. A trustworthy doctor did the autopsy.
Me.
I see. From what you've said, you can't really deny that it could have been an accident.
No, the problem is the room where my father passed away. It was obvious that someone else had rummaged around.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you mean?
It's fish. No, I'm sorry.
Well, the room has lots of tropical fish tanks lined up.
Oh, multiple.
But on the day my father died,
Yeah, multiple.
Oh,
all
wow.
of them were shattered to pieces.
Yeah,
Whoa, whoa.
big tropical fish guy.
Wait. All of them were shattered to pieces. That,
Including the
does that
one
in-
his
yeah,
head's
does,
in.
Does that include the one his head is in?
Yeah, you
It
can
looks like it
see.
is.
Strange.
So how did he drown?
Oh, the fishy.
Oh no.
And of course, there was water and dead fish all over the floor.
Of course.
Someone must have forced their way into the room to do something so terrible.
This is bizarre.
I believe my father was murdered by whoever did that.
It's fun going through these because I don't really remember. Like, I remember pretty much all the details of the main game. I don't really remember because I never actually played through the DLC myself. I did watch a playthrough where they played through the DLC. So I have seen the DLC gone through.
Sure.
But I've never myself actually done them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This must be a murder. Please uncover the truth of my father's death.
Halara's on it.
What do you think, Halara?
For $5 billion
Beats me. I wasn't paying attention.
because I haven't been
Hired.
paid.
Don't lie. There's no way you couldn't hear us.
You can assume I don't exist unless pay is involved.
And there it is.
Yep, for sure.
I can pay. My father left me an inheritance.
You can assume I don't exist unless pay is involved. That's an amazing line.
Love it.
Oh, don't mind my detective. Our rates are always reasonable
When
here.
if there's like a boss who's asking you to like work late and is like, "Oh, come on, where's your company spirit?"
You can
You just hit them with
I don't exist.
unless pay is involved. That's a great,
I'm going to tattoo it on me and just point to it.
literally, on your forehead.
Then you'll investigate this case on my behalf?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. As detectives sworn to protect this town, we can't leave any mysteries unsolved.
Yako, you've been more than happy to leave like all of the mysteries we came across in the main game unsolved.
You actively tried to dissuade us from solving them.
Thank you. I'm so happy I worked up the courage to come here.
You
In the submarine.
You literally had us like flagellate ourselves one time because we solved a case,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Why would you do such a thing?"
Yeah.
The Nocturnal Detective Agency is here to protect the peace of Kanai Ward. You can always count on us. As for investigating this case, we'll check out the crime scene soon. Promise.
She walks out and Yako turns to Halara. We can't do anything.
Jeez.
That was rather reckless of you to promise.
It's not like I have a choice. I can't just abandon people in need. I'm Yako Furio, chief of the Nocturnal Detective Agency. I gotta protect this town.
This is a new spirit.
It is a new spirit from Yako.
Do you even have a single lead to solve this case?
Well, we just learned about this case 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, we
so-
haven't even been to the crime scene, so maybe
So
give
no.
us a second.
What? Of course. I'm a detective after all. If I proceed with the investigation, I'm sure I can find some kind of clue. But I'll need your help, Halara.
That depends on the payment.
Ah, you know I don't have a lot of money.
And you know that I don't work for cheap.
It's true.
Then, how about a deal instead?
Ooh.
For the
What
desk.
deal?
If you solve this case, I'll let you keep a cat here.
Oh, that's
Oh,
huge.
shit.
That's so important. They're in.
God, Halara.
Really?
Oh.
They're so cute.
Yes, really.
Oh, they're gone.
Just
it's
running.
done.
Running.
To the crime scene.
Oh my God.
I love them.
I love them
Hold on.
so much.
Client just left.
Their
Why don't
ultimate
you wait until
weakness.
tomorrow.
But
Fine.
Cat.
I shall review the case's records until then.
That's one less day without Cat.
Anything for cat.
Oh wow.
This fee is cheaper than I thought.
I never noticed Halara's earrings before.
Oh, I'll take note of them next time we see
Yeah.
him.
They're kind of cool.
Yeah, I really enjoy the detail. Oh, those?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. The like little vials or something.
The mana and health potions.
Oh yeah, kind of.
I really enjoy the details in the costuming of the main characters.
I do too.
Like we found like Fubuki's like clock stuff.
Thank you for coming.
Just all
You
over.
really are willing to investigate the case.
Well, that's our duty at the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
And Halara will do it for cat.
For
Your
Cat.
house is pretty big. Your father must have been well off.
Yes. My father owned a medical devices company. He contributed to Kanai Ward's medical advancements for years.
And when you say medical advancements,
Oh.
curious.
By medical, do you mean zombie?
I simply can't believe he met his end like this.
We'll find justice for him.
Thank you. I am in your debt.
Don't worry, he's not actually dead.
Yeah, he's probably just a zombie.
This is my fiance.
But so are you.
Yeah,
We've been living
And so is
together
Jaren.
for about a year now.
all of us, really.
Nice to meet you. I'd like to ask you more about the details later, but can we take a look at the scene for now?
In fact, the only
before that,
non-zombie in the
Do you have a
situation
photo of
Is
your
Halara.
father?
is Halara.
Yep.
Of course. Here's a picture from when he was still alive.
I hope that would be the picture you're showing us.
Here's a picture of his dead body.
Yeah, good lord.
Thank you. Alara, over here. I'll leave the investigation to you. It's a bit too cramped for all of us to be wandering about.
It is nice that Halara's DLC chapter is a crime scene investigation because you almost need it to be to make use of their forte.
Their forte is literally useless outside of crime scene investigations. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll keep speaking to them outside. Talk to me when you're done.
Whereas Desahiko and
Understood.
Fubuki can use theirs in any situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And specifically outside of a murder investigation.
Now,
Yeah.
time to review the cards I've been dealt.
Investigation.
Investigation.
You definitely want to remember this.
In clues, you can review the info of acquired clues.
Copy that. Let me acquire some clues.
That may be the last time I ever do the Shinigami voice.
You can do it whenever you want.
There is a
No, I
sticky
can't.
substance stuck to the door frame. Perhaps tape residue?
Curious. New clue. Sticky substance. There are traces of a sticky substance, like tape residue on the doorframe.
I like that we can't look at the
The tanks?
the body
Yes.
area.
There is a stain here that looks like a horizontal line.
Oh yeah.
Upon close inspection, there appears to be a faint outline of the same stain along all 4 walls.
New clue. Wall stains. All 4 walls have stains resembling horizontal lines.
Vent.
An ordinary vent. There's some blue paint on the inner side of the frame. Looks like something rubbed against it. This may have something to do with the case.
New clue, vent. Rub marks and what looks like blue paint are on the inside of the frame.
It's a regular sliding window with a crescent lock. There are no suspicious marks on it. There's a small veranda outside. We're on the second floor, so any rain that falls off the eaves flows to the drain.
New clue, sliding window. A normal window with a crescent lock. There are no suspicious marks.
Interesting.
New clue, veranda. The second floor veranda. Rain flows off the eaves into the drain. Okay.
The floor.
Right.
There are some stains on the floor. It is likely due to the water spilled from the fish tanks. Other than that, nothing else seems suspicious.
New clue, floor. Stains caused by water spilling from the tanks are on the floor. Fish keeping equipment.
I see.
The equipment and food for the tropical fish are placed together.
Strange that these aren't voiced.
I know. These are less important ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Seems like nothing has been used since the incident. There's some dust.
New clue, tropical fish equipment. Equipment used for keeping tropical fish is placed together.
All of the fish tanks have been shattered. There's broken glass scattered on the inside, which means it's certain someone smashed it inward. Why would someone do this?
New clue, smashed fish tanks. All the tanks were smashed inward.
I've investigated the things of note, but... Wait, hold on. Before you do that, look at the one that he was over, that he drowned in, allegedly. Yeah, that one was definitely smashed.
Yeah, for sure.
So how is it possible that he drowned in it?
He could drown before it was smashed, but then how does it get smashed?
Exactly.
Seems like some shoddy peacekeeping investigation. All right.
Let's end that investigation.
That's about all I can investigate for now. I should go talk to our clients before I observe the crime scene at the time the body was discovered.
With their
The crime
forte.
scene has been inspected, Chief.
Thanks.
There are a few things I'd like to confirm.
Yes, please ask me anything.
Can you give me the details of when you discovered the body?
It was, I think, around 6 in the morning. My father usually woke up early for breakfast, but when I went to get him, he wasn't in his room. So I looked around and noticed Sugar barking at this room.
Sugar.
Sugar. Do 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 do
That's the name of our
do.
dog.
Hi, Sugar.
How does Laura feel about dogs?
Hey!
Oh,
They like
apparently
them.
they like them.
Sugar sure is happy. She's rarely friendly with
I like
me.
how Laura just started petting this dog, no hesitation.
Yep. Laura's like,
She
absolutely.
barks at me all the time.
There.
Shall we continue?
Maybe
I'm suspicious of Jaren.
of Jaren.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it 'cause
I
he's
don't
a
know.
zombie?
Well, everyone's a zombie, but
That's
I'm
true.
uniquely suspicious of Jaren.
Oh, sorry. Sugar was barking in front of the room, so I opened the door to take a look. There I saw my father. His head was in the fish tank. He was already gone.
I heard her scream and ran over. But what I saw took my breath away.
Likely story, Jaren.
The fish tanks were all destroyed. The floor was covered with water. All the tropical fish Father loved were scattered across the floor, dead.
Were they valuable?
I'm not sure. I don't know how much they were worth, but the fact is, my father cared for them a great deal.
If the fish were expensive, do you think someone tried to steal them?
Are you implying my father's murder was an afterthought?
Well, I'm just considering possibilities.
If they were going to steal the fish, I doubt they'd smash the tanks.
Fair.
You're right.
Yeah, that kind of
Do you
just
know
killed
the
the
estimated
fish.
time of death for the victim?
I believe it was around 10 o'clock the night before.
So his face was in. Well, I guess we don't know when the tanks were smashed.
Well, and here's the crazy part, right? When they found him, the tanks presumably were already smashed by that point.
Right.
Which means when they found him, he wasn't in water.
Right.
And no one seemed to think that that was odd.
Curious.
When was the last time you saw him alive?
Right around 7 that night. I ate dinner with him. He went to his room after that.
New clue, estimated time of death. According to the Peacekeeper's investigation, the victim died around 10 o'clock p.m.
Does anyone else live here?
It's just me and him now. The servant left after making dinner before 7.
Tell me, what were you doing around 10 that night?
After finishing dinner with my father, I did some cleaning and washed the dishes. Jaren came to the dining hall around 8 for dinner. And then we watched TV in the living room until around midnight.
An alibi.
Interesting.
I know for certain we were together between 8 and midnight.
How suspicious.
That he has an alibi?
Did you ever get up during that time?
That
Such
he.
as to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
I will say it is
A
kind of
perfect alibi.
it is kind of funny that in mystery games at least, people having alibis does make you more suspicious of them.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Were there any screams or sounds of a struggle around 10 at night?
I'm sorry, neither of them got up to go to the bathroom from 8 to midnight?
Wait, was that the range?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
No, not at all.
I don't trust you, Jaren.
I see. That leaves me wondering who entered that room, when they did, and why they smashed all the fish tanks.
Tetra's really
What
just
a thoughtful statement, Yako. That leaves me wondering the same things.
Tetra's really just protecting Jaren because, truth be told, he went on an hour and a half bathroom break
And
from
she's
9
like,
to 10:30.
He was having tummy troubles. Don't worry about it.
Look, I have
The
tummy
fish
troubles. I
tanks
get
are
it.
large and have thick glass. You'd think you'd hear them being smashed.
You would, wouldn't you?
You would, wouldn't you?
True. All I know for certain is that we didn't hear anything like that.
New clue, alibi for the night before. From at least 8 p.m. to around midnight, Jaren was with Tetra. See? 4 hours. No one used the restroom? Drink more water.
I love that the phrasing is Jaren was with Tetra.
Yeah. I'm actually concerned about their water
Do
intake.
you often come in and out of this room?
Not at all. Only my father used this room.
What did the peacekeepers have to say when they saw the state of things in the room?
They said my father was stressed out. That he lost control and smashed all the tanks himself.
Stressed out by his fish.
Was he actually
Stressed by the fish?
Stressed by the fish.
Truth be told, my father was lamenting over a prized tropical fish he had accidentally killed that morning.
Oh, stressed by the fish.
Oh.
I thought he could have done something extreme, given how much he regretted his mistake.
Wow.
He did look rather depressed.
Still, my mild-mannered father would never do something like this.
Did you notice anything strange about your father during dinner?
He was sad about the fish, but he ate normally. I didn't notice anything in particular.
It's hard to think he was so distraught that he'd smash all the tanks on his own.
It also is just, no one's really talked yet about the fact that if he was the one that smashed all the tanks, this doesn't make sense.
Correct.
He couldn't have drowned in a smashed tank.
Also, it's not like, mental health and depression and trauma always follows a logical conclusion. But if he's stressed about killing one fish,
Why is the answer kill all the other fish?
yeah,
That is a
You're
good
right.
point.
But that's what the peacekeepers told us happened.
I'll take another look around. For now, I'd like to ask you to leave the room.
Get out of here.
So you're gonna do that thing, yeah? I'm counting on you.
that thing.
Do your thing, Halara.
Let's wait outside.
Okay, so this is gonna be important to keep in mind, right? Because we know that whatever we're about to see
is the state of the crime scene when the first person saw it.
the first witness.
The first
so like the
witness.
first non-killer.
The
Yes.
trump card is still face down.
And you know what? That's going to be the daughter because Jaren came in at the same time, but he's the killer.
Time to use my post-cognition to see how things were at the time the body was first discovered.
Let me ask you this, V.
Hit me.
Of our Halara, Vivia, Desuhiko, and Fubuki, if you could have any one of their fortes, which would it be?
The time rewind. It's not even.
Yeah, for sure.
Not even a
Yeah.
little bit of a question.
So true. So true. Yeah, I would use that all the time.
Like honestly, other than Halara's is the coolest for a detective. For a normal person, it's kind of useless.
Yeah.
But other than Halara's, all three are pretty cool and definitely have, useful applications that I can think of. Like, it'd be nice to be able to just not move and spectral project places to do shit. And, like, it'd be cool to just be able to, like, look like anyone and, fully be able to convincingly disguise myself whenever I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to turn back time is just, when I watched this game Let's Played, they made a comment that I think is very accurate, which is that they literally had to make Fubuki an idiot. Because if she were smart, she would be the most powerful being on the face of the earth.
Well, I was just thinking that the drawback for me of having Fubuki's forte
Is that you'd always use it?
I'd use it. I would never know rest.
Yeah,
I would
that's
never know
true.
peace.
It would literally
I'd
just
be like, okay, I have the ability
every
now to
single
live the
moment.
perfect life and to fix so many problems.
Yeah.
I'll do nothing but that forever.
If you're in an argument and you like say something that goes wrong, you would just keep fucking trying over and over again.
And like at some point that's not you, right? Like
Honestly,
at some point that revokes the part of the human experience that is making mistakes.
I mean, honestly, that's a good point. It might be too much of a power.
I think it would be distressing.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. I think in that case,
I might take Vivia's.
here's my issue with Vivia's. And it's honestly, there's a similar issue with Desuhiko's. They both have a little bit of a similar issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is I feel like, you know how like people say I want to be able to like read minds?
Yeah.
And then it's like, would you really want to know what everyone thinks about you?
Right.
I think that both Vivia and Desuhiko's powers, although Vivia's especially, have an issue that they kind of
make it too easy to drive
easy
yourself
to-
insane with too much knowledge.
Think about any time that you were feeling like if you were with a partner, right? And they were like going out and you were feeling like kind of jealous or like worried or something. How would you not like
follow them?
astral project and like follow them?
Yeah. It's true.
I feel like there would just be such temptation.
They're all too powerful. It would be a fun game if they all turned against each other and used their fortes against each other.
You know what? I think I might say Desuhiko's. Actually, because it is one of the most limited. Because he specifically says like he can't hold the forms for like that long.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to carry around his ridiculous bag and bullshit like that.
I mean, maybe I pick Halara's because then I'd have a very clear calling and be very good at it, but it's hard to abuse.
That's true. Yeah. If you have Halara's power, how could you not
become
go
a
be like a detective?
and then you're
right?
just really, really good at your job.
Yeah.
Kind of good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll stick with Desuhiko's and you'll take... I like how we're literally like, we're taking these powers specifically because they're limited.
Yeah.
The other powers are too much to handle.
I know myself.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm too anxious. I listen to everything
Literally.
and I turn back time constantly.
I would astral project non-fucking stop.
Yeah, I would never be in my body. That's not a life.
Meanwhile, if I were Desuhiko, if I had Desuhiko's disguise ability, think about like, I don't want to get too deep into specifics of what I'm talking about, but like, Think about the things you could impact on a political level.
It's very, I've never thought about this, but for these 4 characters, they have unique flaws or quirks that limit
stop
their
them, yeah.
use. Like, Halara will only work for money. So they're not constantly compelled to solve every crime because
Exactly.
they want to be paid. Desuhiko is actually dramatically uncharismatic in the things that he says. So he can disguise himself if he wants, but like he can't achieve all the things he wants to achieve because if he dresses as other people, he's still going to say the wrong thing.
Exactly. Like
Vivi is lazy.
Right, like Desuhiko's like perversion and ego like work against him being able to like effectively like accomplish harmful things within his disguises.
Same with Halara's greed. Same with Vivia's sloth.
Yep.
And Fubuki is
Yeah, I
just
mean that's
a little dummy, which is, I love her, but it prevents her from knowing and thinking of all of the times other people would feel compelled to turn back time.
Oh yeah, and I mean like if someone that had even a like the thing is, I don't think that someone like Fubuki is obviously just like a really sweet good person.
Yeah,
And
she's
I
not power hungry.
I think that in a large part that is due to her lack of intellect. I
Yeah.
think that for someone that had a power like that, if they had a greater intellect, it would be almost impossible to not
abuse it. Yeah.
And so yeah, no, that's a really good point. They do all kind of have a flaw that uniquely stops them from being like evil dictators with their powers.
Yep. It's interesting.
Yeah. Postcognition. Here we go. What do we see?
All right, what we got?
Okay. Yeah, that's the corpse, all right.
Let's start with the door.
Door. Even in postcognition, traces of a sticky substance are on the frame. Was some kind of tape stuck on?
Updated, sticky substance. Even when seen through postcognition, the sticky substance was on the door frame. All right.
Corpse.
The victim's body is kneeling against the edge of a fish tank, with his head inside. Like the other tanks, this one is smashed up too.
And we can see it was smashed up at the moment the body was found, which makes sense, and we know this.
Looking closely, he is soaking wet. It'd make sense if
His
it
whole
was
body?
just his upper body. But for his whole body to be soaked is unusual.
Interesting.
New clue, corpse. The body was kneeling against the edge of the tank with the head inside it.
Okay. Wall stains. It seems the stains on the walls were present when the body was found. I don't see any particular differences. No, the stains are darker than they are currently. Does that mean they were made around this time?
Updated, wall stains. Even when seen through postcognition, all 4 walls had stains resembling horizontal lines.
Okay. Vent.
The paint stuck on the frame can be seen here.
Updated,
Okay, so that was there in postcognition.
vent. Even when seen through postcognition, rub marks and what looked like blue paint were on the inside of the frame.
So we're getting like a rough timeline for some things.
Yeah.
Window.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's not locked. Anyone could come and go through here.
Who locked it
This
then?
is how the culprit entered the place.
Interesting. Updated, sliding window. A normal window with a crescent lock. Postcognition showed it was unlocked.
Yeah, which means since postcognition happened, someone
became
locked it.
locked.
Yeah. Fish.
There's a dead tropical fish in the drain on the veranda.
How the hell?
Interesting.
Why would that be there?
How'd a fish get outside?
Updated, veranda. The second floor veranda postcognition showed a dead tropical fish was present.
And once again, it's been meddled with since then.
Yeah.
Floor.
There are dead tropical fish everywhere. The whole floor is completely drenched.
Updated, floor. Postcognition showed the floor was flooded and scattered with tropical fish.
That's the same as now, though, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing new.
I see.
At the time the body was found, many things were scattered around. Could this sort of mess be caused by just a broken fish tank?
Updated tropical fish equipment. Equipment used to keep tropical fish was scattered around.
Okay.
I see.
All tanks seem to have been smashed inward. There's not much difference from the room in its present state.
Updated smashed fish tanks. All the tanks are smashed inward. Even when seen through post-cognition, they were in this state.
Okay, they were smashed inward. I feel like that has to be
I'm beginning to see the truth
relevant
behind this
somehow.
case. That's all the investigating I need to do.
Any
for now.
theories? Are you also beginning to see the truth behind this case? Like Halara?
Perhaps not. I don't know. I mean, we have a pretty limited array of potential witnesses, you know? It's really just the two, and you would think it's not the daughter since she's encouraging an investigation into this when it's been ruled out as the suicide.
That would
Or not a suicide, but an accident.
that would be kind of illogical, wouldn't
Right.
it?
Which makes me think it's the boyfriend.
But Jaren was with her the whole time.
That cannot be. That just can't be. I mean, well, we've got these smashed inward. We've got the fish keeping equipment changed, right? It doesn't make sense that he drowned.
Like, where is the water that he drowned in?
Exactly. It's strange that there's a fish outside. I don't know. I have more questions than answers at this point. The tape is weird.
Oh, the thing was knocked over.
Yeah. Yeah, just a general disarray.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Doggy!
Was it sugar the whole
Whoa!
time?
What does Doggy have?
The dog has something in her mouth.
Hey, Sugar!
What's this?
That's Sugar's favorite toy. It's just a rubber hose tied up in a
Yeah, it's like a piece of rubber
Ever since she
piping.
was a puppy, Sugar has loved playing tug of war with a rubber hose. So I still make toys out of hoses like this. But I don't think I made one for her recently. Where did she...
Ah,
Sorry.
Oop.
that's interesting.
Where did she get it from?
Let me take a look.
Wait, don't touch it.
Oh?
What's wrong?
Put that in a plastic bag without touching it directly. I believe it's evidence.
That's fair.
Oh.
That's evidence?
Consider it a precaution.
Wherefore art that evidence?
New clue. Rubber hose toy. Sugar's favorite toy. A short rubber hose tied into a knot.
How's the investigation going? Are the peacekeepers right? Did my father pass away due to an accident? Or was it...
The answer is clear. This
Oh?
was no accident, but a murder.
I mean,
Dun
that
dun
makes
dun.
sense.
I mean, yeah, that we are pretty clear on that one too.
Yeah.
Really?
What makes you think it's a murder?
My thinking.
It must be a murder because of. I mean, there is one thing we've been saying this whole time. What?
Huh.
That's not the one thing we've been saying this
no,
whole time.
and it won't let me go back.
Oh no.
I was thinking the window, like the outside door, the fact that it was locked, that to me seems extremely suspicious.
Well, that means that someone like meddled with it, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it is like definitely a murder.
No, but I don't know how, if it was an accident, that would, like, the scene wouldn't be meddled with, you know?
Well, but someone could have meddled with the scene even if it were an accident.
Yeah, but why would they?
But like, there's one thing that we've been saying this whole time means it like must, like, there's no physical way. It would just be impossible for it to be an accident.
Tanks wasn't an option.
Yeah, it was.
Well, oops.
The window's wet.
It's not enough to disprove the theory that it was an accident. Reviewing it more carefully.
Oh my god, it was. I just
Yeah.
completely skipped over that. Whoops. Yeah, no, the fish tanks. Shattered.
The fish tanks,
The
they were
victim died
shattered.
with his head in the fish tank. Is that right?
Yes, that is certain.
As you can see, this fish tank was destroyed like all the others.
Right? Yeah.
That is far too strange. It means something logically impossible.
Exactly.
For sure.
Impossible? What do you mean?
Come on, guys. This is not. This
I
part is
shouldn't
pretty
have to
simple.
explain it.
Yeah, Halara, you're right.
If the victim drowned with his head in the tank, then it had to be filled with water. But as you can see, the fish tank is destroyed, meaning it is unable to contain water.
Like, maybe the rest of this mystery is a little more confusing, but this
But
piece of
that-
it is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like with the other tanks, the water spilled out when it was smashed, emptying it. So how could the victim drown in a fish tank that held no water?
Oh, now that you mention it.
The peacekeepers claim the victim was disoriented and smashed the fish tanks himself.
But then he wouldn't have drowned.
But if the victim was still alive when he smashed the fish tanks, it would have been impossible for him to have drowned.
Exactly.
It's true.
In other words, the victim was drowned, then placed next to the fish tank to make it seem like an accident. The culprit must have believed this camouflage would be enough to fool the peacekeepers.
Or, I mean, like, they could have been drowned in the fish tank and then the culprit smashed it after that.
Could be smashed fish tanks, room filled. Well, I know the fish tank water isn't enough to fill the room with water, but maybe with the hose as well.
Yeah, like, if it were just the fish tanks, then there would just be, it would be like maybe like an inch or two of water.
Right.
At most, but
But if we use the hose, room filled with water, room drained by opening the door, because we have the drain on the other side of the door. The vent. Wait, okay.
okay, hit me.
Something with the vent and the tube. The rubber tube.
Right.
Funneling water into the room.
And where could the water have been funneled from?
From the roof?
What do you mean from the roof?
Can I see the clues? From the eaves.
But like, where would the water have come from?
From outside, from the rain? From the constant rain that we live in?
Oh, so you're saying it was just like, yeah, that
Water
is,
funnel,
yeah.
water channeled,
Kanai Ward is in a constant state of rain.
water channeled through the vent into the room. He was drowned. Smashed the fish tanks. Opened the door, unlocked the door to drain the water
Right.
in the middle of the room. Explains why there's water all over the room. Explains why there are dead fish everywhere.
And it explains why the fish tanks were smashed.
Yeah.
Because there was water all over the room.
Right.
And the culprit needed a way to
Explain it.
explain that.
Yeah. And also, in theory, if you filled the room above, if you filled the room with water above the top of the fish tank, the fish are out. So the fish are all over the room too. Right? Fishy swim.
That's true.
And then
yeah,
it's
because now
like,
the room is
okay,
just one giant fish tank.
Okay, drain it. Okay, now we have dead man and water and fish all over the floor.
Right. Fish outside.
Yeah, open door, one fish outside.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Starting to...
What
Take
else?
some
What else
shape.
do we have here?
So that kind of explains the vent, the sliding door. the veranda. I mean, that could have been caused by the high level of water in the room, the wall stains.
Oh, it's a water stain.
Sticky substance. Yeah, water stains. Sticky substance to keep anyone from opening up the door and flooding the rest of the house. Slash to keep water from running under the door.
That's what I think. Yeah, I don't think it was to keep people out. I think it was to keep the water in.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say that is because there's there's tape everywhere all over the door, when really you would only need to tape like the outsides. Like the creases in the door where water could run out.
Right.
But that could just be that's what
yeah,
it
I mean
like
tape in the middle wouldn't have stopped people from coming in either.
Right. Smashed fish tanks is a cover-up, floor wet. Tropical fish equipment would be everywhere if the room was flooded, or
that's true.
Scatter it around to make it just look chaotic.
Yeah.
Estimated time of death, from 7 to 10, enough time to fill up the room.
Yeah, and this kind of explains the alibi.
What do you mean?
Because how did the killer kill the person?
Oh yeah, they wouldn't be present in the room.
Right,
They would
don't
have
need
just
to be
set
there.
up the room to flood.
Yeah.
Alibi for the night before, seemingly irrelevant. Corpse, I think the large relevance of that is just that it's impossible for him to have actually drowned in the tanks.
Yep.
And that's my theory.
Okay. Well, we got a theory. That's cool. I'm glad I don't remember this. It's fun being able to like piece it together.
Yes, there is no mistake about
So,
it. This is murder.
if the killer had just not smashed that one fish tank in particular, they would have probably been. It would have been much harder to prove that this were a murder.
Agreed.
Hold on. If the culprit wanted to make the victim look like he drowned, why did they destroy the fish tank? Didn't they realize their cover would be blown? And plus, all the fish tanks were destroyed, not just that one.
It must have been part of their plan for the peacekeepers to overlook this contradiction.
Mm-hmm. It's a cover-up.
It is indeed.
However, destroying the tanks required a lot of effort. If the culprit did so despite the contradiction it created, then we have to assume there was an unavoidable reason behind it.
There had to be a need to do so.
Mm-hmm.
An unavoidable reason.
So, who is the culprit?
I must investigate further to find that out. I'll report back once I find the answer.
Yes, please.
Has anyone outside your family entered or left the house recently?
I don't think so.
Were there any tradesmen who came to work on your place?
I can't think of any.
Allow me to change the question. Have you recently done any remodeling or repairs to the home?
Oh, now that you mention it.
Oh?
The rain gutters on the roof were broken, so Jaren fixed them.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting.
Why is that interesting?
He fixed the rain gutters?
Me. That's me.
Yes, he's an avid DIYer.
He loves the YouTube videos.
He not only fixed the broken parts, but also checked the gutters around the whole building, which was a lot of work.
Look at what a good guy Jaren is.
Such a good guy.
He's just generous and giving.
New clue. Rain gutter repair. The rain gutters on the roof were broken, so Jaren fixed them.
I see. That concludes my investigation.
What? Are you sure that's enough? Jeez, you're always off in your own world.
Lara's like, I know it's Jaren.
Sorry about that. Our ace detective isn't very friendly. That being said, I believe this case will be solved soon. Please be patient for just a bit longer.
Thank you.
Finished.
Hey, lady, your dad's dead and your fiance did it.
Tough. Are they engaged?
I don't know. What did they say?
Laura,
They said they'd lived together for a
Just as you
year, but I don't
suspected.
remember what
Oh.
if anything they said.
fiance.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Jaren
I couldn't.
has been
I thought it was
living
either
in his home
fiance or
and
husband.
mooching off her since he got fired from his job a year back.
Yikes.
Oof.
He's in quite a lot of debt, too. At one point, he was spending almost all his time in casinos.
Is this like a life insurance situation?
She did say she got a lot of inheritance, remember?
Inheritance, yeah.
He kept asking the client's father for money, but was always denied. Seems the father was also against their marriage.
Or just a personal grudge.
Just a full-on gold digger situation, it seems like.
So money is the motive. If the father were to die, the daughter would inherit everything. So if he married her, the money would be his.
Makes sense. The thing is, that man has an alibi. The victim's estimated time of death is 10 at night. There's no mistake that Jaren was with the client at that time.
No bathroom breaks, remember?
Not a single bathroom break.
It makes no sense to suspect Tetra, since she's our client. So we have to assume his alibi is airtight.
Much like that door.
Right.
Watertight.
I agree.
His alibi is perfect. Not only was he with Tetra at 10, but he was also with her for 2 hours before and after. So, as it stands, it's impossible for him to have killed the victim.
You're wrong!
No, the alibi isn't a problem. It's possible if a certain trick was used.
A trick?
But I still lack hard evidence. Perhaps it's worth rolling the dice here.
Hey, are you sure about this?
The father must have been unconscious or something.
Yeah.
Because,
to not,
like,
be able to just open the door.
Right, the room was like slowly, you'd have to think the room is probably slowly filling.
Yeah.
And it, like either open the door or smash the door in or something.
We'll
Smash
make
like the
our
glass door, I
movement.
mean.
Right.
Let's go to the client.
Off we go. I like that Alara's still in the chief's chair.
They've earned it.
Is it true that you know the truth behind this case?
That's right, miss. Allow me to explain. The key detail for this case is the victim's cause of death.
Bad news for you, Jaren.
Without a doubt, the victim died by drowning. But making it look like he drowned in the fish tank was camouflage. Why would such a thing even be needed? Because it secured the killer's alibi.
You said that the victim's time of death was around 10 p.m. In other words, the culprit secured their alibi at the same time as they murdered the victim. Is that really possible?
Through a certain trick, it was possible to drown the victim even if the culprit wasn't there.
What's the trick, Alara?
Drown him without being there?
It's a magic trick, you see. You draw one
The trick
card,
the culprit used was
any card.
first, it involves this rubber hose.
Hose.
That's Sugar's toy.
If you untie the knot, it returns to being a hose. This was what was first used in the crime.
How was it used? Don't tell me that's the murder weapon.
Yes, he drowned
If you
on
check
this
the vent,
hose.
You'll see the color of paint scraped on there matches
Oh.
Yep.
I forgot about the paint.
the wound. It was likely passed through the vent.
Someone put the hose in the vent.
Jaren's
Why
just
would
sweating
anyone do that?
profusely.
Jaren, panicking.
It's nothing special. The hose was simply used for its original purpose.
Interesting. Tell me
Its
more.
Original purpose?
To hose.
One end of the hose was placed on the edge of the rain gutter on the veranda side. Prior to this, the culprit adjusted the rain gutter so that the hose could be inserted into it. The rainwater from the gutter passed through the hose, filling the room.
Huh? What do you mean? Hilari, you think this place got flooded with rainwater?
I do.
That's what
That would
she's saying.
drench
They're saying.
The whole place.
Yes.
When the body was found, the room was, in fact, drenched.
But that was because of the broken fish tanks, right?
No, there's not enough water from the fish tanks to do that.
That's part of it. But the main reason was due to rainwater pouring into the enclosed room.
Wait, what do you mean? What's the point in flooding this room with rainwater?
The culprit's goal was to secure their own alibi at the estimated time of death. This trick was necessary for that.
I don't get it. Can you explain from the beginning?
Let's go over what the culprit did on the day of the crime in order.
I mean, honestly, again, other than smashing that one tank, it was a pretty decently clever plot.
Yeah, it was a good plan.
Yeah.
First, the culprit mixed sleeping pills into the victim's dinner.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
While the victim was asleep, the culprit proceeded to prepare the trick.
Sleeping pills in his food? That reminds me. My father did seem sleepy shortly after eating dinner.
Yep.
After dinner, the victim likely went to his room to lay down. The culprit then sneaked into his room and carried him out while he was asleep. That was how the victim was transported to this room.
If only the peacekeepers had run a toxicology report.
That does seem pretty basic if you're going to do an autopsy.
At this point, you're sure he was still alive?
Of course. If the culprit murdered the victim earlier, then their alibi wouldn't have worked. The culprit had to murder him in such a way that would secure their alibi. The preparations were done in this room. After bringing the victim here, the culprit used duct tape on the gap near the door to weather strip it.
Weather strip? What's that?
It prevents water
How-
from leaking outside.
How do you live in a town that is continuously always raining and you've never heard of weather stripping?
Yeah, that does seem like that would be part of kind of the normal discussions of
Yeah.
the town.
What do
City.
you mean?
Let me explain. After weather stripping the door, the culprit started destroying the fish tanks. The culprit likely covered them with cloth to dampen the noise. Once he smashed all of them, he leaned the victim onto the fish tank.
I understand that this is a short mystery,
Yeah.
and so it's not going to button everything up entirely.
Right.
But I feel like it wouldn't have been that hard to give some indication of like sleeping pills, a cloth to dampen the sound of the shattering. Like they introduced the issue of it would be loud to smash the tanks. You didn't hear anything, right? But no way for us to
Right.
tie specific evidence to the solution for that problem.
Yeah. No, that's true. I also like how
Culprit then moved to
you're
the
fine.
window on the veranda and weather stripped the outside of it.
I like that it's just straight up showing Jaren doing these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Even the
They
images
took
aren't
the hose
pretending.
connected to the rain gutter and passed it through the vent to the inside of the room. Preparations in place, the culprit left through the veranda and returned to the mansion as if nothing had happened.
How does that complete everything? The victim was still alive at the time, right? When was he murdered?
He slept through a flood.
Yeah.
The victim naturally drowned after being left alone for several hours.
Huh? How's that?
The rainwater from the rubber hose flooded the room in a few hours. The whole room was turned into a fish tank, this time filled with rainwater.
And fishies.
Fishies.
And that is how the victim drowned.
The whole room was flooded?
That can't be.
But look at the water line.
The proof lies in the stained walls.
There you go.
The day of the murder, the room must have been filled to that line with rainwater.
Rainwater killed the victim?
Correct. Only in this city could such an approach be possible.
True.
It's true.
The rain never stops in Kanai Ward. This makes it easy to estimate the amount of rainfall to a certain degree.
No, that's a really good point. Any other place where the rain, you don't necessarily know what it's going to do.
You wouldn't be able to count on it.
Yeah.
So it is not impossible to create this alibi trick with some calculation.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. Wouldn't it take at least half a day for the room to fill with enough rainwater to drown the victim?
I'm sure it would require more rainwater than usual to accomplish it. Which means you'd need to gather all the rain falling around this giant mansion.
Gather all of it how?
It would require slight adjustments to the rain gutters.
Good thing we
After
know
that,
someone who did that.
The rainwater would flow to the veranda.
Who was that again?
adjustments to the rain gutters?
Ooh, crossing his arms.
Defensive.
There would be plenty of water if all of the rain that pours upon the mansion is rerouted to this room. That explains how the culprit secured their alibi while drowning the victim.
Based on how Tetra said that last thing, it seems like she's
Picking up what
piecing
Halara's
it
putting
together.
down. Yeah.
In the morning, before the body was found, they removed the weather stripping and drained the water through the veranda. If you check the drain in the veranda, you should find dead tropical fish that were carried out with the rainwater. The culprit smashed the tanks beforehand to prevent rainwater from being stored inside. Well, that's how I would have done it. But maybe the culprit didn't realize that before they started draining the water. Seeing the fish tanks filled with rainwater, the culprit panicked and smashed all of the glass to hide the evidence. They must have carelessly broken
could have
the
been it
one
too.
fish tank the corpse was leaning on in the process. Isn't that how it went, Jaren?
Jaren.
Jaren.
I'll be direct. You are the culprit.
Got him.
Got him.
Hold on. Is this some kind of joke?
Yeah, it is. Just kidding.
Isn't it funny?
Why would I kill my father-in-law? That's stupid.
He's not your father-in-law. Let's be clear.
But you were fixing the rain gutters a few days before the incident.
Oh no.
Dang.
That's because you asked me to fix them. How does fixing some stuff pin me as the culprit? That's crazy talk.
So you intend on maintaining that you're not the culprit?
Of course.
Then we'll have to ask our little friend for the answer.
Our little
Come here,
friend.
Sugar.
Sugar. Good doggy.
This is the rubber hose used for the trick. There are scrapes on its surface. That's the proof.
Got him.
I'm sure the culprit tried to dispose of it, tying it into a knot before throwing it away. But our friend here found it for us. Good girl, Sugar. Only the culprit has directly touched the rubber hose. I'm certain his scent is still on it.
Nice.
Tell us, Sugar, who do you smell on this?
Ooh.
Good girl, Sugar.
Ooh. That's pretty tough.
It is you.
This is complete nonsense. I won't accept it.
And we don't care.
If I have to, I'll kill all of you.
Oh.
Very
yep, you're
innocent
innocent.
thing to say.
You're totally innocent. Never heard a fly.
Hey, don't tell me that you're really...
I was so close.
Not the knife.
You're gonna kill all of us with a knife?
Good luck.
Oh shit.
Calm down.
Yako.
Why me?
What the hell, man?
I can kill the woman anytime. I'll start off with you. Damn you, detectives. This is your fault for sticking your nose into my life.
And that's how Yako died. Really rewriting history.
The end.
Can you handle this on your own, Chief?
Lara's just like,
I'm pretty bad at this sort of thing. Please help. Shut up! I'll kill...
Yeah.
yep.
Halara
Do not fucking mess with Halara Nightmare.
is also a badass when it comes to physical combat.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
us not forget. That was very easy for them.
That was incredibly easy.
You saved me.
Halara's so fucking cool.
Never thought it would be like this. What am I supposed to do?
Well, you're gonna have to break off your engagement.
But you have
That's step
Sugar.
Yeah, you do have Sugar.
Sugar will help you through this.
That's what she's saying.
I love that the graphical style for Sugar is
Completely different.
completely different.
The Nocturnal Detective Agency will always be at your service.
Thank you.
I knew there was something suspicious about Jaren.
You did from the start. Kitty.
As promised, you can keep that cat here.
Charming
Charming
stray cat.
stray cat.
Also in the sugar graphic style.
Yep.
I don't need your help. That's what the cat is saying.
Come on, this cat thinks it's some sort of hard-boiled detective? Well, I suppose I don't mind.
This city is a difficult place to live, even for the animals.
I'd argue especially for cats, who generally don't like being wet or dirty.
This is true.
Right. I hope we can keep solving the mysteries here to make the city a better place. And make it a nicer place for them to live too.
I sincerely hope so.
You're so cold to humans, but you like animals.
Are you teasing me?
See, there you go again, making that scary face. Seeing you play with the cat, you look kinda cute. It sure would be nice to see more of that smile around here. I hope you keep using your powers to change the city. I know you can do it. For their sake, too.
That depends on the payment.
Of course.
Come on. Well, how's this? Consider it the reward for this case. And maybe you could ask for permission next time.
Thanks.
A tender moment.
Cute little kitty.
But you should move that cat somewhere dry.
You really should. I understand the sentiment you're trying to get at, Halara, but I don't think the cat would be upset.
No.
Going inside.
Hey, we did it!
Raining cats and dog. Oh, that's funny.
Single
Cats and dog. Halara Nightmare. Yako Furio. Furio.
Jaren, Sean Chiplock. We've seen that name before.
I do know that name. Hold on, because I was going to say that Jaren's voice actor did sound familiar.
It was in Raincode.
Yeah, he did voice someone else in Raincode, but I think I also know the name from somewhere else.
Yeah, you mentioned it last time that it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up,
Yeah,
shall
you
I
can-
introduce us to Chapter Vivia?
Oh, yes, we've looked this up before. Sean Chiplock voices Rivali from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yes. And who else in Raincode?
He also voices... Hold on. Oh, he voices a lot of people. Hold on. Where's video games? There it is. Okay. In Raincode, voices Fink the Slaughter Artist. When did Fink the Slaughter Artist speak?
Don't remember.
So yeah, voices Rivali in Breath of the Wild. Also voices the Great Deku Tree.
Fun.
And voices Taka from Danganronpa.
Oh.
Voices... And then voices some characters in... Voices a character in Persona 5. Voices Santa in Zero Escape.
A lot of credits for Sean Chiplock.
Yeah. Hold on, there was one
You
more
go,
that
Sean
I saw.
Chiplock.
In I, Somnium Files, also voices someone. That's a game that's on our list at some point.
It's true.
I'm a big fan of I. Yeah, okay. I think that's everything. But yeah, quite a few credits.
Thank you for your service, Sean Chiplock.
Thank you very much.
Shall we jump into Chapter Vivia, the
Chapter
near-death
Vivia
detective?
time.
Vivia visits a building to investigate an unsolved case. However, the elevator leading to the roof stops, leaving him stuck inside with a woman.
A woman.
Trapped within the motionless box, Vivia closes in on the truth as he faces life and death. This sounds like a very Vivia situation.
It does.
All right.
Let's
see.
do it.
Did you know Only autosave is enabled for sub-stories.
But what if I need a normal save?
You can't. Not with the sub-stories.
But that's
Sorry.
not fair.
Sorry. Them's rules.
Death is always awaiting me upon my path.
Yeah, okay.
The drama.
Like trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet. Even if I manage to overcome them and make progress down that path, when I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there. The shadows are a procession to my own funeral.
Okay, Vivia.
Vivia's
To live
kind of dramatic.
needs to continuously die. Every human is nothing but a walking corpse.
I will say, or I'll wait
And
until this
so-
is done.
I, too, am dying in this moment.
Chapter Vivia,
The
the
near-death
near-death detective.
Hey, look, a woman.
A woman. Vivia. Vivia and a woman.
Doesn't seem to be moving at all. And the management company isn't responding either.
So what I was going to say before, the side stories, the sub stories that we're seeing here, do a really great job of just like showcasing the personality of each of these characters.
100%.
Like Desuhiko's episode really felt like a Desuhiko episode.
Yeah.
Halara's really felt like Halara. And even Fubuki, for all the joking about like, oh, was it really like Fubuki's chapter? That kind of is Fubuki's whole thing, is she's kind of just like, she kind of just glides through
Right.
and doesn't really like think about stuff.
And I can tell you right now, this is about to be a Vivia chapter through and through.
Yeah, it like the whole vibe of each of these chapters is pretty dramatically
Taps into
different
the soul of the character.
and in a very intentional and well done way.
Yeah, love it.
I guess we just have to wait. If you wait long enough, everything will come to an end.
I mean, true.
Just as there is rain unceasing, a day will come when the sun doesn't rise, and when the oceans dry up too. One day, you will die, and so will I.
I gotta say, put yourself in this woman's shoes. You're in an elevator stuck with this guy.
Worrisome.
And he goes, one day you will die.
Yeah, have to worry about that.
Is that supposed to be a joke? How can you talk about death in this situation?
I'm not enjoying this situation enough to make light jokes about it.
I think I'd find things a bit more enjoyable if I wasn't trapped in here with you.
Ooh.
Got him.
I apologize if I've offended you. I wish to avoid all unnecessary fights.
Same goes for me. Sorry I raised my voice. I'm not used to situations like this.
Nor am I. We found something we agree on.
Aren't you afraid
Afraid?
of all this? We're stuck in an elevator, hanging in midair. What if something happens and we fall to our deaths?
I don't think I'm afraid.
What if the elevator is never fixed and we're trapped here forever?
Then it'll be like a coffin. I actually think it would be rather cozy. I could just sleep here until I die.
And that's his dream.
Truly, Vivia has never wanted something more.
What's with you and your death wish?
It's not like I intended to have one. It's hard to describe. Thinking of death is like breathing to me.
Do you find it fun to live like that?
Isn't that what life is all about? There are things that I find fun. For example, I love reading stories. For some reason, I feel more alive when I can invest in a story's protagonist. I also love gazing at the beauty found in nature. Seeing plants sway in the breeze brings joy to my heart.
You sure are a strange one.
That's true.
Am I? What about you? What makes you happy?
Sorry about that.
I suppose I like to observe life.
Observe life.
I used to be a nurse. I've seen many lives saved and lost at the hospital.
Her eyes are very cool.
Oh,
question
they
mark
are
girl.
super cool.
Life should be more precious than diamonds. But some people are treated more poorly than a pebble on the road.
That is very, very true.
Isn't that strange? A life is a life. So why should its value be different depending on the person? So now, whenever I look at people, I watch their lives.
So philosophical.
This is a very philosophical conversation happening in this elevator.
I wonder how valuable each life may be.
You're also kind of strange.
That's true.
Am I?
Speaking of which, I didn't catch your name. I'm Vivia. Who are you?
I'm Rio.
Rio.
We have a name,
Rio.
folks.
I think we may have met before. Do you remember?
Really? When's that?
Flashback.
To when they met before. Vivia's favorite place in the world.
Hey, Vivia. Everyone else is out on a job. How long are you gonna stay there?
Forever,
Until I die?
basically.
Basically.
You gotta be kidding me. Do I have to pull the pieces of you out of there once you're a skeleton?
That'd be nice. Thank you for offering.
If you have free time, why don't you help work on some unsolved cases?
Chief, do I look like I have a lot of free time to you?
He's very busy.
You look like you're so bored you could die. Look, just hear me out as a way to kill time.
Kill?
There have been a series of suspicious deaths lately.
Kill.
People jumping to their demise from a certain building.
Kill.
Oh.
The first one was
We
over
got a string of
5 years ago,
suicides?
and people have been periodically jumping ever since.
That's interesting.
There's been over 10 confirmed cases.
Oh my gosh.
What's suspicious about that?
What do you mean,
I
what's
came
suspicious
across
about
a
that?
building to jump off of when they happen to feel like dying.
Vivi always feels like dying, so this is par for the course.
He gets it. It's par for the course.
That's probably all there is to it.
That could be true for 1 or 2 cases, but over 10 times in the same spot? That's unusual, no matter how you look at it.
Are you suggesting someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes?
We won't know until it's investigated. It'd be an absolute nightmare if someone is getting their kicks killing people and making it look like suicide.
A Halara nightmare.
Hey.
For the sake of the town's safety, it's not something we can ignore. That's where we come in.
There's no point in investigating it. All we will find is boring reality.
No matter how boring it is, it's still reality. There's value in finding it.
Detectives are such troublesome creatures.
Aren't you one too?
No.
It's besides
Oh?
the point.
Don't look at me all surprised. Why'd you come here if you're no detective? Aren't you here to solve mysterious crimes and help those who are lost?
He's never thought about it before.
I've never really given that much consideration. Why am I here? I thought it was to use this fireplace.
He asked me why I came to this town. I don't understand it myself. I'm not actively searching for a place to die just yet. I'm not here to be a detective searching for the truth. It's nothing so pure or sincere. The reason I came to this city was due to my impatience with living. What did I seek by coming here? What do I expect from this place?
Oh.
That was a woman in a red raincoat.
What just happened?
That reminds me. The chief did mention something. Around the building where the suicides occur, a suspicious woman in a red raincoat has often been spotted. I'm not interested in the truth, but I am interested in her. I should try to tag along behind her without being spotted.
Ooh,
I sneak along.
we're tailing. Why is Vivian Naruto running?
It's the only way he knows.
Go, go, go. Which way did she go? Oh. How'd she get down there?
That was fast.
Oh,
Ooh. And we follow.
Vivia does not give a shit. I've been playing a bunch of Assassin's Creed recently, so this is very familiar territory.
I see. This is the perfect building for dying.
That's great.
I'm happy for you, Vivia. Glad that you found what you've been looking for.
We've met before? Are you sure about that? I don't remember you at all. Are you sure it was me you met?
When you say that you met before,
Met.
Vivia, are you referring to when you tailed her
Stalked
shortly
her?
before getting into this elevator?
Maybe.
There's no mistake. You have that smell.
What?
Creepy.
Smell.
Oh my god.
You smell faintly of death.
Oh.
What do you mean by that? That's rather rude.
Do you live in this building?
Yes. Why?
From what I've heard, there hasn't been anyone living in this building for a long time.
Who said that? Oh, was it the people around here? They probably have a grudge against this place. They say the building blocks the sun, or that it's sinking into the bedrock.
What about all the people who have fallen to their deaths from this place? Is that nothing but a groundless rumor, too?
Suspicious.
Suspicious.
Of course it is.
But it isn't. It's fact. Even the newspapers have articles about it.
And we know that makes something fact.
That
If
is
you live
that is
here,
true.
Then you must
Yep.
have heard about it. Many unsolved cases in the city have been completely left alone. Of course, this has nothing to do with me. I have no interest or desire to know the truth. However, I am somewhat interested in you.
Ooh.
Are you hitting on me?
Yes.
I suppose you could take it that way.
Oh, Vivia.
So yes,
I
apparently.
see. To be honest, I'm interested in you too.
Ooh.
Kiss.
Damn.
Although it's more that your life force makes me curious.
Oh.
It's... how do I put this? Faint.
Well, that's true.
Thinner than paper. almost as though I can see death waiting on the other side.
I could say the same about you. Sheesh. This is a hassle. I guess I'll get to the point. You killed them, didn't you?
That is pointed.
That is pretty to the point.
I did it?
You lured people from the city here and pushed them off the building, making it appear like suicide. Why did you kill them? There's no benefit in it for you. For fun? You wanted to see them die? Or did you develop a special interest in the value of people's lives? If so, that makes you a serial killer.
Me? A killer? Well then, I guess that means you're trapped inside an elevator with a killer.
That would be what that means,
Strangely,
yes.
I found myself in situations like this often.
Par for the course.
Whether I want it or not, death finds its way to me.
You're not afraid?
Afraid? No, it's more like observing from a great distance as dark clouds slowly spread out over the ocean.
I don't quite get it, but it doesn't sound joyful to me. Though, you were like this from the very beginning. Truth be told, I can tell when someone has a death wish. I sense their desire to go to the other side. Yes, you remind me of them.
Imagine if he didn't.
If he, what do you mean?
If he didn't remind her of that. If she was like, nope, everything seems normal. You don't seem to want that at all.
That's not your vibe, apparently.
Did all those you lured here feel the same way?
Lord? You're mistaken. I didn't do anything myself. I was just here.
So she's basically saying that she like finds people that want to kill themselves and facilitates it.
Right.
People like you happen to show up here. Then they depart to the other side on their own.
You really want to insist that you weren't involved? That all those who died came here of their own accord?
That's right. Aren't you the same way?
No.
No, I got trapped in an elevator.
I pretty directly followed you here. Where are we flashing to now?
Good cue.
Oh?
I want to die someday.
Classic.
Yeah, for sure.
And perhaps this is a fitting place for it.
The view here is nice, don't you think? That's certainly an added benefit. The journey here wasn't easy. Things are just getting started. Vivia, let's save Kanai Ward. Together.
Together,
Ambitious.
you and me.
That's not why I came to this city.
Uh-oh.
Right. I'm counting on you then. Wait, what did you say?
It's funny because this is like the opening speech that Yako gave us.
Yeah,
And he just like gave everyone the same speech.
for sure. And it didn't really land. As
Didn't
much
really
with
land for
Viv's.
Vivia.
Did I mishear you?
I don't care what happens to Kanai Ward. And I have no intention to obey orders from the WDO either.
Good guy.
I just want some peace and quiet. A calming place where time will gently pass by.
Why did you come here for that?
Yeah, interesting. You came to Zombie Land for peace and quiet.
Literally.
What are you talking about? You're not gonna find that here.
Yeah, exactly.
The only place you can find perfect peace is heaven. And the only ones who can reach it are the dead. Wait, don't tell me you...
Just leave me alone.
Oh,
Oh.
I can't do that. We need your help. Hey, Vivia!
my broody boy.
Broody boy. Elevator.
I've
Elevator.
always been able to see the dead. And what they tell me is always true.
Oh.
The truth has been exhausting for me. for as long as I can remember. Even when I cover my eyes and ears, their voices continue to whisper it to me. Please, be quiet. No matter how much I beg for it, the calm will never come. Where's the perfect peace? It's found in death.
Ah, there's the look. Everyone who steps into this elevator has the same look in their eyes. They want to escape reality as soon as possible. They don't care where they end up, as long as they can get away. This elevator will take you to your desired exit.
Is this how you do it? You trap everyone in elevators?
And just talk them to death.
The path to the other side.
And it's your job to see them off. You've seen so many on their way from here. It's like you are the guide to the afterlife.
So what if I am? Aren't you similar?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
That may be true.
Oh?
Oh, elevator's working. Gotta go.
Life is like this elevator. Once it moves, it will not stop. I can hear them.
Hey, Vivia! Where are you?
No, we're good.
Oop. Things are happening.
Hey, Vivia! Where are you?
That voice.
Do you recognize it?
No.
If you have any attachments in this world, I suggest you don't depart.
Attachments. If that's the case, why did you go to the other side?
Huh?
The first of those who died was a woman wearing a red raincoat. Her name was real. It was written in a newspaper article. Why do you still ride this elevator, even after death? Isn't it because you're still attached to this world?
This is a very Vivia chapter.
Very Vivia.
Who are you?
That subtle shift to
You don't seem like
grayscale
an ordinary
was pretty
human.
cool.
I'm a regular detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side.
I see. Still, you
Ooh.
surprised me. You knew I was already dead.
I told you in the beginning, and you smelled of death.
You did.
You're responsible for stopping this elevator, using some spiritual power, or whatever. You haven't been guiding the suicidal to the roof of this building. You've been stopping the elevator in an attempt to make them reconsider.
Oh.
You sure are a mean one. You knew all along.
Did you try to save them?
Yes. As I'm sure you know, I haven't been able to stop a single one. More than 10. And I've watched all of them go. That's why I think it's my fault. Because I chose this place for my own death, it's become rather famous for suicides. I was just tired of living. I wanted to go somewhere far away from this place.
But you regret it.
Yes. That's why I always stop the elevator whenever someone comes here, so I can speak to them.
One last attempt.
But I've never been able to convince them otherwise. All I've done is provide some time to think things over. Everyone who comes here has claimed none would be saddened by their deaths. I've never been able to get them to recant those words.
That should be expected. After all, it is the truth. Everyone must overcome the death of others to keep on living. No one can remain in place and look back every time.
Is that so? We're almost to the roof. From here on, I can do nothing to stop this. Please listen. Even if you get to the roof, don't step out onto the floor.
Why?
Because they will try to take you. As long as you don't listen to them, you'll be able to shake it off.
They.
Them.
That's because you're here to investigate what happened, not for your own death.
I don't know about that. The moment I got on the elevator, I think I made up my mind.
No! You must be determined to survive! Otherwise they will take you!
Life and death. I fail to see the border between the two anymore. They both overlap. I can no longer tell which one is the real me.
Then please, think of the people you will leave behind! You must have some in your life. Are you really going to depart without saying farewell to them? There must be someone you'll regret not saying goodbye to.
If I had someone like that, I wouldn't be here. I have no one.
Vivia. That's simply not
Need your
true.
help. Isn't it cool to have a detective agency in a submarine?
Oh, Yaka.
What a dork.
If you ever have trouble here in Kanai Ward, just come on by. The other detectives and I will always have your back. In exchange, you better watch out for us, too.
What a pain.
If you ever need something, let me know.
I want peace and quiet.
Huh?
I want to be left alone.
There's no way I can do that. We're pals, aren't we?
Bypassing his normal fireplace.
Good pals.
Oh, we're back.
Vivia, you've barely eaten a thing since you came here. You're looking kind of emaciated.
I'm eating well enough.
That's not for eating.
Your
That's
book?
for reading.
Yeah.
Same thing.
He's eating knowledge and stories.
It's not actually the same thing, though.
How could they be the same thing? Do you hate the food in this town or something?
Well,
The
it's
hotel
people,
restaurants
so.
offer lots of different choices. I'm sure you'll find something you can eat. All right, today's my treat. Let's go get dinner at a restaurant.
Why bother with all that trouble? I wish you'd leave me alone.
Vivia.
I can't do that. I may not look it, but I can be pretty persistent. You told me one thing, so now I have to do the opposite. That's just how I am. That's what made me the detective I am today.
Don't wish for death! At this rate, you'll be taken away! They're growing stronger. Each new one makes them more formidable. They will even take hold of the living. We've arrived. They're coming.
What is going on in this building?
Pretty spooky building.
So death awaits me here.
Don't go any further! They aren't moving. It's almost as though they haven't noticed you.
I thought so. They're only able to take away the living.
Then you're also...
I'm the same as you all. I'm a ghost.
No way!
However, in my case, my body still lingers in this world.
What an interesting fella.
Very interesting indeed.
I mean, who are you?
I've already told you. I'm an ordinary detective. I just happened to have one foot on the other side. I decided to come here in my ghost form to try talking to you. And thanks to that, I can't be dragged out of here.
Really? I don't quite understand, but you sure are a mysterious person.
He sure is a mysterious person.
By hands.
I wouldn't mind walking away on my own, but I refuse to let someone take me away from here. That is not the peace I desire.
So you've reconsidered?
There is no need for you to be imprisoned here. I think your atonement has been fulfilled. Isn't it about time you sever your attachments here?
No. I want to remain behind. I need to ensure they don't take anyone else who comes here. Not everyone is as strong as you are.
I'm not strong at all. I've just grown used to death. Also, will the elevator move again? Or is it stuck on the roof?
Asking the practical questions.
Practical, good questions.
Yeah, until someone pushes the button.
Which they can't do in ghost form.
Vivia! Are you there?
That's Chief Yako.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
He's not here? Damn it. I'm at the wrong place. I thought he'd come here to investigate.
No!
I'm so exhausted.
He took the stairs all the way to the roof to chase after the elevator.
He must have been worried about you. I've watched over 10 people depart, but he's the first one I've seen come looking for the dead. You have a place you can return to. Perhaps that's the difference between us.
Honestly, I don't care for all the noise. I'm rather envious of your world.
However, if you have a place to return home to, you should.
Home, huh? I find myself hesitating. I don't know which path I should take.
Isn't it obvious?
Hey, Vivia! Where did you go?
Please, go back to him. I'm sure he's waiting for you to return.
The love between Yako and Vivia is just so pure.
What a lovely little bond.
Vivia! I was looking all over for you.
And thinking about like what happened in chapter
You
4
had such a solemn look on your face when you left, so I had a hunch.
with this context
Yeah.
is
What happened?
Yeah.
I got a bit lost.
Getting lost at your age? Then again, you didn't come to this city that long ago, so I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. Let's go back to my awesome agency office.
They're besties.
Good pals.
Death is always awaiting me upon my path. Like trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet. Even if I manage to overcome them and make it to the end of that path, when I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there. The shadows are a procession to my own funeral. To live means to continuously die. Every human is nothing but a walking corpse. And so, I too am dying in this moment. However, as long as I continue to travel this path, I may enjoy some peaceful scenery. Beyond the truth. Perhaps the peace I desire can be found there.
It's quite the strut.
Yako has some Hebrew text on his jacket.
Intriguing.
The near-death detective. That one's so interesting. It gives
is.
it like there's just so much complexity to Vivia's character.
Yeah, always.
It's crazy. All right, that was Chapter Vivia.
Chapter Vivia.
So we have Chapter Halara, Chapter Vivia. That's it for this episode.
And then next time...
But we got one more to go.
Just the one left.
One final episode. Like I said, it'll probably be a little bit shorter than our typical episodes. But we'll tackle the final remaining
episode.
DLC. And then that'll be it for Raincode.
All right.
So anyway, thank you all for joining us.
And we will see you back here soon.
Bye.
Bye.